did you first grow curious about the paranormal? Dare you dig deeper? You are listening to House of Asher.
And welcome back to another episode of House of Asher. I am your host, Steve Asher, and our discussion today will be kind of a strange one. I know they're all kind of weird, but this is pretty strange. I should first of all say thank you guys for listening to the show, and feel free to share these to friends. Like I said, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spreaker, all these different things. They're out there. All you got to do is just look on your smart TV and you can watch it at home and kick back in your underwear. Also look at YouTube under House of Asher Podcast, and there you will find me, Steve Asher. You can reach me at Steve Asher Studios on the interwebs and look me up to find out what I'm doing. New books, new research, new talks, just everything and every little detail of different quirky stuff I'm in. Again, you can also find me on Twitter. You can also find me on Instagram. All that stuff. I'm just immersed in the digital world. But anyway, I'm talking about today an area in the western part of the U.S. that some of you may live in, some of you may have maybe heard about, maybe some of your family, especially if you live in California, your ancestors traveled through, an area called Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, when you think of Utah, I don't know, what do you think of when you think of Utah? Let me know in the comments below. I would always think of wagon trails. I would always think about people seeking out land and earning, trying to earn their families more or less their success and nailing down that peg somewhere. Of course, you're going to think of the Mormon Church as well, but there is one person in particular who stands out in a big way, by the name of Lilly E. Now, what's so interesting about this woman? Okay. This woman, she died. She was 77 when she passed. She was born in like June, I think it was June 6, 1881. Lived all the way up through November 14th, 1958. Man, what a change of just seeing the world go from like gaslighting to electric lights to, these long metal tubes in the air people were flying on. That in itself is a story. But what we're talking about today is the strange stone that was left where she's buried. If you look upon Lilly E. Gray's stone, at the bottom you will see it says victim of the beast 666. Right, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty freaking weird. Now, as I understand, this was done by her husband, Elmer, and apparently he was locked up at the time, saying, basically he claimed that his parents died of grief when kidnappers murdered my wife. Now, he had married Lilly, which is the second wife, some years later. She died 8 years after that. Now, according to the Historical Society of Utah State, basically it says she died of natural causes at the age of 67, but Elmer blamed the death on the Beast 666 of government, and particularly Democrats. Now, the company that had made the headstone recalls that Lilly's family hated Elmer, absolutely despised him. And when he himself died in 1964, he was placed in that same cemetery like literally as far as they could get away from her, man. Like if they could have had them bump out the the borders of that graveyard another 20 miles, they would have put them 20 miles out. Zero chill. They did not care anything about this guy. Now, he and his beloved now lie at Salt Lake City Cemetery. This is around, I think it's 355 North Salt Lake City, Utah. You're welcome to visit, of course, as always, people. Be respectful. Don't disturb the grave. Don't be an ass. Pardon my language. Just don't be an ass. You can even look it up under like Find a Grave, and it'll show you exactly where it's at. So, gates open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and of course, just again, please be respectful. There's also some other interesting things in there. There's one where this kid is arising out of a wheelchair in a statue. Just crazy stuff out that way. But do you feel that there was something nefarious in her death? Do you feel that Elmer was just a wackadoo with some health issues, or was he just wanting to cause a stir more for maybe her family? It says, I guess most of his family had passed. But the real question is, what did happen? Why would this person make such a crazy assumption, and especially against the local government? Did he feel that maybe there was some sort of conspiracy against him and his family? Maybe against him and his wife particularly? Could it have been some sort of bizarre cult, like, that you hear sometimes they sacrifice people? Supposedly. I'm doing air quotes. So I really don't know. I would be very interested in hearing more about it myself, but you don't ever know. You just don't. But for me, I think that we more or less should enjoy the time we got with the family that we got. Look out for one another. And if you have any great ideas, the stories to do, places to visit, whichever, and research, contact me through Facebook, contact me through YouTube, and the messages here, leave me your email and I will contact you. But until next time, look down the hall, look in the basement, look under your bed. You never know. There may be a crazy Elmer under there, or maybe some freaky demon cult. Maybe a couple Mormons. I don't know. I'm not judging. But until then, as the sun settle behind the pines, remain, as ever, creepy.